You wake up at 3 a.m., you're not sure why. You lie there for an hour, maybe two, staring at the ceiling. Eventually you drift off, but when the alarm goes off, you feel like you never slept at all. If that sounds familiar, here's what most doctors won't tell you. That's not just tiredness. That's your brain failing to clean itself. Every night during deep sleep, your brain runs a biological waste disposal system called the glymphatic system. It flushes out toxic proteins, the same proteins that build up in Alzheimer's disease. After 50, that deep sleep collapses by up to 70%, and the cleanup stops. A 2025 study across more than 25,000 participants found that poor sleep directly accelerates brain aging by 1 to 3 years. That's the difference between a sharp 65-year-old and one who can't remember where they left their keys. The good news? Sleep is fixable. But not with melatonin gummies. Stay with me. Welcome to Second Prime, where we cut through the noise and give you the science on living longer, sharper, and stronger after 50. Before we get to the exact action steps, there is one more thing you need to know about the cardiovascular data, because this is where it gets genuinely alarming. A 2025 observational study published in Circulation showed that eating windows of less than 8 hours, OMAD, and aggressive 16.8 adherence were associated with significantly elevated cardiovascular mortality risk in adults over 50. The hazard ratio was 2.35, meaning these individuals were more than twice as likely to die from cardiovascular causes. Separate research in Science Translational Medicine found that near isocaloric time-restricted eating, same calories, just compressed window, shifted circadian clocks, but did not improve cardiometabolic health in women. This matters because the assumption that compressing your eating window is automatically beneficial for heart health is simply not supported by the current evidence for older adults. The relationship is dose-dependent, and you can absolutely pass the point of diminishing returns. So what exactly happens to your sleep after 50? Research published in JAMA shows that slow-wave sleep, the deepest, most restorative stage, drops from roughly 19% of total sleep time in your 20s to just 3% by midlife, and it continues declining from there. By your 60s, many people have almost no measurable deep sleep at all. At the same time, you experience more fragmented sleep, more nighttime awakenings, and a shift in your sleep schedule. The circadian clock drifts earlier, so you feel sleepy at 9 p.m., but then wake at 4 a.m. unable to go back to sleep. This isn't just aging, it's a cascade of biological changes. Melatonin production declines, your core body temperature doesn't drop as sharply at night, and your brain's master clock, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, becomes less sensitive to light cues. The result is sleep that looks like sleep from the outside, but doesn't deliver the deep restoration your brain needs. And the damage doesn't stop at your brain. The hormonal cascade from poor sleep after 50 is devastating. Deep sleep is when your pituitary gland releases the vast majority of your daily growth hormone. Growth hormone isn't just for athletes. It drives tissue repair, immune function, and metabolic regulation. Research from JAMA shows that as slow-wave sleep drops, growth hormone secretion falls by up to 75%. Meanwhile, cortisol, your stress hormone, does the opposite. After age 50, evening cortisol levels rise significantly, according to University of Chicago research. That's like having a low-dose stress response running every night, keeping you in a lighter sleep state, preventing the deep phases from ever taking hold. This elevated cortisol then drives insulin resistance. Poor sleep, even for a single week, measurably worsens blood sugar regulation. Over months and years, this accelerates the metabolic aging that makes every chronic disease worse. There's another mechanism that rarely gets discussed: telomere shortening. Telomeres are the protective caps on your chromosomes. They're one of the most reliable markers of biological aging. Sleep deprivation directly accelerates telomere erosion. A 2025 study found that adults with chronically poor sleep have measurably shorter telomeres than those with good sleep, independently of other lifestyle factors. This means that every bad night is not just a bad night, it's accelerated cellular aging. The eBioMedicine study published in the Lancet in 2025 found that poor sleep health is associated with a measurably older brain on MRI scans. 1 to 3 additional years of brain aging across a cohort of tens of thousands of participants. And a 20-year follow-up study published in JAMA Internal Medicine found that chronic insomnia independently raises all-cause mortality risk. Poor sleep is not a lifestyle inconvenience. It is a biological threat. Now let's talk about the dementia connection specifically. NIH research shows that people who sleep 6 hours or less per night in their 50s and 60s are 30% more likely to develop dementia later in life. The mechanism is the glymphatic failure we described earlier. Beta-amyloid accumulates, tau protein becomes misfolded, and the neuroinflammation that follows sets the stage for Alzheimer's pathology. A meta-analysis published in Science in 2025 synthesized data from dozens of longitudinal studies and found that sleep disorders, including insomnia, sleep apnea, and disrupted circadian rhythm, significantly increase dementia risk. Sleep apnea alone, which affects up to 30% of people over 60, causes repeated oxygen drops during the night that independently damage brain tissue. If you snore heavily, wake gasping, or your partner notices you stop breathing, get tested. An untreated apnea diagnosis is the most dangerous sleep problem you may not know you have. So, what actually works? Let's talk about the protocol. Step 1. Address melatonin correctly. Yes, melatonin production declines after 50, but the standard advice, take 5 mg or 10 mg before bed, is wrong. That dose is 10 to 20 times what your body naturally produces. The research supports microdoses of 0.5 mg taken 90 minutes before your target bedtime. That tiny dose helps reset your circadian phase without causing next-day grogginess or suppressing your body's own production. The real melatonin lever, though, is light. Morning sunlight, direct, outdoor, within 30 minutes of waking, is the single most powerful signal for resetting your circadian clock. It triggers a cortisol pulse at the right time of day, anchors your sleep timing, and dramatically improves sleep quality that night. Conversely, bright blue light from screens after 9 p.m. delays melatonin release by up to 3 hours. Step 1 is not a pill. It's going outside. Step 2. Temperature. Your body needs to drop its core temperature by about 1 to 2 degrees Fahrenheit to initiate deep sleep. After 50, this thermoregulation becomes less efficient. The fix is environmental. Set your bedroom between 65 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 18 to 20 degrees Celsius. A warm shower or bath. 90 minutes before bed paradoxically helps. It draws blood to your skin surface, and as you cool after the bath, your core temperature drops faster, triggering the sleep onset signal. Step 3. Timing consistency. Your circadian clock after 50 is far more sensitive to schedule disruptions. Sleeping in on weekends, what researchers call social jet lag, resets your clock backward and costs you deep sleep for the first 2 nights of the following week. Same bedtime, same wake time, every day. That single habit has more impact on sleep quality in older adults than any supplement on the market. Step 4. Exercise, specifically timed. Research consistently shows that aerobic exercise increases slow-wave sleep. A study in the European Heart Journal found that Zone 2 aerobic training, the moderate intensity work where you can still hold a conversation, significantly increases deep sleep duration in adults over 50. But timing matters. Exercise within 3 hours of bedtime raises core temperature and cortisol, which delays sleep onset. Morning or early afternoon is optimal. Even 20 to 30 minutes of brisk walking 3 times a week meaningfully improves sleep architecture within 2 weeks. Step 5. Alcohol. Many people over 50 use alcohol to wind down, and it works. Alcohol does help you fall asleep faster, but it destroys sleep quality in the second half of the night. It suppresses REM sleep and fragments deep sleep, leaving you waking repeatedly after 2 a.m. If you're waking at 3 a.m., this is often the culprit. Even one drink within 3 hours of sleep causes measurable damage to sleep architecture. Step 6. The wind-down window. Your nervous system needs 60 to 90 minutes to shift from the alertness of the day into the parasympathetic state that allows deep sleep to initiate. After 50, this transition takes longer. The neurological machinery is less responsive. A consistent wind-down routine, dim lights, no screens, light reading or stretching, a warm herbal tea, is not a luxury. It's a clinical intervention. Studies show that adults who implement a structured pre-sleep routine see significant improvements in sleep onset time and deep sleep duration within 1 week. Write it down if you need to. Treat it like a medication protocol. Step 7, and this is the most important one, is cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, or CBT-I. The American Academy of Sleep Medicine gives CBT-I its only strong recommendation for chronic insomnia, stronger than any sleep medication. A 2025 randomized controlled trial published in NPJ Digital Medicine found that nearly half of participants who completed a digital CBT-I program no longer met the criteria for insomnia after just 9 weeks, and the effects lasted at the 1-year follow-up. Here's the summary of what the science actually supports. Get morning light within 30 minutes of waking. Keep your bedroom at 18 to 20 degrees Celsius. Take 0.5 milliliters of melatonin, not 10 milliliters, 90 minutes before bed if needed. Do aerobic exercise in the morning, not at night. Cut alcohol within 3 hours of sleep. Build a 60-minute wind-down window with no screens. And if you have chronic insomnia, difficulty falling asleep, staying asleep, or waking unrefreshed for more than 3 nights a week, look into digital CBT-I programs. Several are now available online at low cost, and they are clinically proven. The brain that cleans itself during deep sleep is the brain that stays sharp at 70, 80, and beyond. You cannot supplement your way out of this. You cannot medicate your way into deep sleep, but you can engineer your environment and your schedule to let your biology do what it was designed to do. If this video helped you understand what's actually happening to your sleep and what to do about it, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next. And I want to hear from you. What's your biggest sleep struggle after 50? Is it falling asleep, staying asleep, or waking up exhausted no matter how many hours you get? Tell me in the comments,